Hello, hello. If you guys would like to see a video where I'm going to chit chat about my Spek codexes for my weeks, then stay tuned. Some stuff here because things are a mess. I'm still a little update. For some of you that actually follow my Instagram feed, you will see that my closing on my house was postponed by 2 weeks. So it's probably, I don't know what the audio quality on this is going to be. It might be a little loud because my house is so empty that it's just echoing now. Basically, I was supposed to close this coming Friday and move, and I got my house all packed up with anticipation of it. And then I was told, oh, no, we can't close for 2 more weeks. And it's all because the appraisers are so backed up right now that the bank did not put the right time in for our closing, and the appraisal didn't get done in time. So now we have to wait for that to get done before we can close. Okay, rant over. So I recently had posted a video that had all of my Spek customs, and with that I've gotten a bunch of DMs about, like, you know, what did you do for your codexes, and what works with the mega, what works with the regular, and so on and so forth. So I know that I went into a little bit of depth between the differences in size on these two, but what I wanted to do is a little bit of a comparison with just a regular weeks, which, you know, the regular weeks is definitely a lot skinnier than the mega weeks. That's a regular weeks too. This one here is a mega weeks, and let me just, I know I have some phone numbers in here. Let me get those out. Okay, I don't care about the business cards, but I just don't want someone's personal phone number being on there. So this is a pretty fat mega weeks. So it's gonna be a little difficult for me to do like a real comparison between an empty mega weeks and a regular hobo week size, but this will give you an idea of like when your mega weeks gets fat. You know, this is what happens. And as you can see, like, I don't really even use the back pages a whole ton. So this is where I'm at with my Hobonichi weeks for this year. So this is the Spek Mega Weeks Codex. Okay, so I did go with the full mega size, which it is, you know, just a little bit bigger than their standard codex size. So I debated anyway whether or not I needed to make this bigger, and my decision was to, since my weeks get fat, my decision was to just go with a regular size. So let me take this out for you guys. All right, so this is the regular size, and we will put it in here. So this is actually the mega codex size. So this is really how I plan on using this year. I'm not going to, just because I really liked how the pink goes with this, so I'm just going to do that. So you can see when it starts off, it's pretty floppy in there, because it really is made for a bigger planner. I don't actually have my other one to show you. I was gonna pull out my last year's one and show you, but I can show you. And here, let's just go ahead and do a front and back cover comparison so that you guys can see. This one's not very flexible yet, but let's go ahead and do this just so that you guys can really see what it looks like with the front and back cover in, because I know that that might be a question you have as well. There we go. It's just a little more stiff since it's a new book. So there. Okay. So you just have to kind of get it right. But so, you know, it's definitely going to look big here, and you know, it looks pretty much like it's swimming inside there, but it does hold it a little bit closer since it's in the front and back cover. So I mean, that's an option. Maybe you could do that until it gets a little more full. So I also have, I do have my weeks that I use in here for, and this one's a little more fat. It's not like lots fat, but it's a little fatter. It would have been better if I showed you last year's, because you know, last year's is definitely a lot bigger. It's about how I would want it. So this is a slightly fatter regular weeks. So, you know, you can see as it gets bigger, it's gonna start, you know, filling this space here up a lot more. And then, you know, it won't be quite as bad. So the reason why, so I've made the decision that for me, because this is really my on-the-go planner, I made the decision that for me, I am just gonna stick with the regular weeks. You can see that I really haven't used a whole lot of these wonderful extra pages that you get with the Mega Weeks. And the biggest reason for that for me is because I use my B6 and I use both of these together. Now, I always keep my books, and I just like will use these pages for like test pages or handwriting practice or whatnot after the year is gone. So they'll still get use. It's just gonna take a while before I actually fill them up. But for, you know, keeping things light and easy to carry, I made the decision to just stick with the regular weeks. So, but with that being said, as you can see, like I do like to decorate and paint and do fun stuff, and my daughter makes sticker kits, and so I use mine for her, you know, practicing for her sticker kits. And so with that being said, this does tend to get a little bit on the thicker side, even in my, you know, even with the regular weeks it does. So I wanted to make sure that I was going to have plenty of room, and that this wouldn't get like super tight if it started getting, you know, really fat. And, you know, then all of a sudden the regular weeks didn't really fit. So I will say in the beginning, it's going to be a little bit big. I think, let's do this really quick too. I just kind of had a thought. So if we did this on the back side, and then we did this on the front side. So these are two regular weeks side by side. And look, it's like plenty of room. So this is the Mega Codex. And like I said, I do not believe, I'm gonna look at my book, because I'm pretty sure that's all I did. I don't believe that I went with, I gotta find it. I don't believe that I did any widening, but I wanna be 100% sure so that what I tell you guys is right. I just have to find, and this is why we need indexes, people. No, let's see, Hortensia, it does. I did widen it. Okay, I did not realize that. So this one is widened as well. So I'm glad I looked. So this is, it's still the mega, but I widened it to 235 millimeters. That's what I have here on my plan. And so I wrote down what the standard measurements are, and you can see here. So this is the VDS Mega Codex. This is their standard, and it was 229, and I went to 235. So you're talking about, you know, 6 millimeters. So that's, you know, like, I don't know if you guys can see that. Of course you can't. Hang on, I'm gonna make this happen. You know, you're talking about this much difference between the standard and mine. So it probably actually would be a little bit better. I think this is why I decided to do it to 235, is because I wanted to be able to get 2 of these in here if I felt like it. And 2 with 235 is very, very comfortable. Now this big guy here, this one is actually 245. So this one's even wider than this, which I have talked about in the past. But the reason why this one is wider is because I put strings on it. So you can see opened the difference in this one. So so I did end up widening this one to 235, so it is a little bit bigger than the standard. Her standard is 229. So at 229, it's not going to swim quite as much as mine does, since this one's a little bit wider. So I'm totally glad I looked that up, and this is why I love having this book, so I can go back and reference what I did, so I can give you guys proper information. So that's with a widened one at, what is that, 6 millimeters wider. This is what you can fit in it. And then if it's not widened, you know, you're talking about taking that 6 millimeter off, you know, the total. So it wouldn't be quite as floppy as this, okay? So I think doing a mega codex with a regular weeks, especially if you like to put stuff in yours and stuff it like mine, I think that'll be totally fine. And so I just wanted to kind of do this video really quick so that I could show you guys the difference in how that works, you know, or what it looks like with mine and what it looks like with the different covers in here. So, you know, pretty thin for this one, a little floppy because it's bigger. But then when I put my stuffed one in here, which it sure is stuffed. And also don't forget, like when you're filling up the sides, that adds bulk to the whole cover as well. And like putting stuff in here and in the back pocket. Once you do all that stuff, it will fill it out. So there you go with a pretty stuffed Mega Weeks in my slightly widened custom codex, and this color is Hortensia, in case anybody's wondering. Now, another question that I have been asked quite a bit, and this is going to take a little bit to show you, and I'm not going to show you on my ostrich because I talked about this in my leather video, which is a couple videos back, that I really feel like when you put anything on this, it does darken it some, and it takes a really long time for it to dry, and it's just not the same as with this. So I wanted to show you guys. We're gonna do the wipe test, okay? these are some pretty wet wipes, okay? Now, generally leather, if you take a wipe to it, it's gonna darken like immediately, okay? Now, you know, this does a little bit, and you can see that when I wipe it. So I'm just wiping the whole entire thing with the wipe. All right. Normal leather would have absorbed that a lot more. So then if I just dry it, it really won't take long, and it will just go 100% back to its regular color. And this leather, so this is from the Touch Me line that she has, and this leather is, I don't want to say bomb proof, because I can tell you, like with pens and stuff, it's hard to get ink out of any kind of leather. So I definitely wouldn't say that you can get ink on it and it's gonna come right off, because I just don't feel like ink comes off of much. But, and you can already see it working its way back to being completely dry. This leather to me though is as bomb-proof as leather is going to come, in the sense of it is very much, you know, in that bison buffalo leather line where it is just, it's very durable, and it has almost like a coating. You know, you can see the shininess on it. Can kind of feel it. It has a leather smell, but it doesn't have the leather smell like, say, a Janet leather, or, you know, any type of Janet leather color. It just has this like intoxicating, like saddle leather smell. This one doesn't have that kind of smell. It definitely does smell like leather. It doesn't smell like chemicals or anything like that, but it's a more subdued type of, you know, leather smell. So, and the other thing that I wanted to show is the difference between this, like, so I have generally pretty strong long nails, and applying quite a bit of pressure, you can see it makes like a slight indentation, but like rubbing it just a little bit and it's gone. So it definitely is a very hardy leather. A lot of people ask questions about it. Would I say that it's soft? Not particularly. I would say it does feel a bit like a treated leather. So it's pliable and such, you know. I mean, the book itself, like here where there isn't anything, it is pretty pliable. But I wouldn't say that it's like soft and squishy, like, you know, ostrich leather is very, very soft, and it's just kind of night and day different. The Apoca leathers are a lot different. It is a little bit similar to Van der Spek's like Croco line. Their Croco line almost seems to have like a bit of a coating on it, so it's kind of shiny, and it's somewhat similar to that. I wouldn't say quite as stiff as that, but similar in the sense that if I were to drop water on this, or even just like dirt or something, you could just like brush it right off, or, you know, dry it up really quick. So I don't see it like staining that much, and this thing's been through, I mean, I beat this thing like crazy. And the only spot that I know for sure that it has is this one, and it's hard to see. There is a scratch / gouge right here. It's tough to see it, but there it is. That was from when I was on the airplane. I had something on the sharper side. I don't know what it was, but it got in there and really gouged that leather, but it really had to do some serious rubbing to do that. So I wouldn't say that you need to put these in anything to protect them, because it is such a durable leather that I think you would be safe. So that was another question that I was asked quite a few times as well. So yeah, so I think that that's pretty much it as far as that goes. I just really wanted to show you the difference, so that you guys had an idea of what that regular weeks and the mega weeks would look like in here. And knowing also that mine is widened by that 6 millimeters, just kind of bear that in mind. But I think you would be totally fine getting a regular weeks in the mega Codex from Spek, and once your regular weeks started filling up, it really would, you know, fill this out. And then, like, you know, people have said, then if you did decide to go back to the mega weeks, you would have room for it and there would be no issue. So thank you guys for watching. Like I said, I just wanted to pop in and show you guys that, and hopefully I can get another video out to you this week. It's a little crazy, but I'm gonna be in a bit of a holding pattern for 2 weeks while I'm waiting to move anyway. So I might as well try and get some content out while I still have internet. So I will talk to you guys later. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Drop me a line on Instagram, like and subscribe and all that jazz, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.